Hi, it's Susan at Seaside Stitches and welcome to my channel. Thank you for dropping by. I'm so pleased you're here, and it's my 8th Friday sews. It's been a bit of a couple of weeks, and I had a bit of a paddy because my sewing space was so untidy and uncontrollably disorganised that I just couldn't get my head in a nice peaceful place of knowing what I was doing next, and I just easily got very confused and I made a mistake. Now, we can all make a mistake, we can all blame it on all sorts of things, and I could blame it on the earache, and I think that's what Emma Emma did when she spent quite a bit of money at the Stitch Festival or at somewhere. Anyway, let's forget that. Talk about, oh, I don't want to be swinging my chair, that would be so annoying. What I'm wearing today is my Sinclair Patterns Yasmin dress. I really love the fit of this dress. They go together so well. The instructions are wonderful. It fits me more or less straight out of the packet because I get the tall version, and I'm low in the bust. I'm tall in the torso. That's a funny thing to say. Anyway, so yes, I have been looking forward to doing this vlog because it's just a very small touch of an update on the Sew Frugal. I didn't know I could just do this. The Sew Frugal makes that I did make were the Vera top, the Forget Me Not Patterns Vera top, and I am doing another video where I show a few more photos and things. I didn't video the whole thing for either of the makes, but I did video a bit more, which I only found last night because, oh, let me bring her in. She's here in a vest to cover up her unmentionables down below. She has a t-shirt on to help stop the bra things falling off the shoulders. You may not even be able to see her, but yeah, I did have a go at making this for the Sew Yellow for Endo, but we had a few complications that week, and even when I came back late Saturday, while there was about 5 or 6 hours still to go for the challenge, I did have a go, which I did film, and I will share on another video at some point, but I didn't manage to get this making. But I still will be giving a donation. Haven't got round to doing that yet, because then I got on to my Sew Frugal makes, and I had intended to do 3. This one is the Vera top from Forget Me Not Patterns, but I keep forgetting what it's called, and for ages I was calling it the April top. And I wrote very handily, although I was a bit fed up with these because they weren't very big, but anyway, I wrote on the differences that I'd made. So I used the size 40 for the front and for the back, because some things I'm finding, because I'm very shallow in the back, I'm better if I size down in the back of some garments. So this one I did size 40 front and back. I added 2 inches to the height. Wherever the line was, across sort of the middle, I added 2 inches to that. And I don't quite know why, but I think on the pattern it looks like the sleeves only come down to about there. So I added 4 inches to the sleeve, which it turned out was quite a lot too long. So I will still add next time if I make another one, but I will only add 2 inches. And because I'd actually finished it and tried it on, and that's when I realised they were too long, I decided, instead of taking it apart there and then cutting some off and then reattaching it with the gathers and everything else, I thought I will take it off the shoulder and I will lift it. I will take the excess off the shoulder and lift it up. So if I'm going to do that, if I'm going to change it, that is what I'll do. I'm really pleased with the V, and I had quite a lot of problems with that. As I put on Instagram, my arthritic fingers and my bent from when I fell, and I have a condition called it's all about, oh, let's get medicalised. I have Dupuytren's, which really should be said with the French accent, Dupuytren's contracture. So anyway, and so you have to, the way they advise you to do it, the way they advise you to connect it, you to, oh yes, don't worry about it. But I did it and I got a bump. I got quite a considerable bump, And then I decided I couldn't move on. If I just kept doing that right, doing that and doing that until I got it right, then I just couldn't move on. So I thought, I'm fine. If I can't sort it out, I'll put a brooch there or a badge there or something. It really doesn't matter to me. I'll make the garment and then I'll look at how I can sort it out. And that's how I sorted it out. I just took my time. I thought about it. I did it a little bit of a tweak from what they'd suggested. But I'm so pleased with it now. And I'm so pleased that I didn't just abandon it because it was just... and it's a very kind of... well, what's the word? It's not exactly baggy. A relaxed fit. It's a relaxed fit on me. And that's why I'm not sure if I would make another or whether I would size it down. I don't think a full size down would work. To be quite honest, although that might seem quite a nice lilac to you, that's a bit drab for me. So this one, however, is something different altogether. But this is a Deer and Doe plantain tee. And again, I'm really happy with the neckband. I've only started doing, well, my first one I did last July, neckbands. And I've not done many since, but I feel like it seems like I've got the hang of it. Obviously that's not quite as, I haven't neatened it off inside. Not bothered about that. I did twin needle it, but I was reluctant to twin needle the hem. I didn't want it to go wonky because you have to do it from the, you're doing it blind, aren't you? You're doing it on the right side. It's different on there because you can park, one of the feet I've got is quite wide and I can park one foot on one side of the neckband and one on the other. Whereas on this, it's a bit like going into no man's land. And if you're not really tuned in on that day, which kind of the past few weeks I've not been very tuned in. I keep looking over here, which is the mat. I never usually look into the camera. So this, even when I play it back, it's going to drive myself mad. I have a little dot in my mind where I talk to, and my mind's a bit shambled. In shambles. See what I mean? Bra strap. Flashing a bra strap already. That t-shirt bit's not working. Okay, so for the Deer and Doe plantain, all I've got is that I cut a 44 everywhere except the width of the sleeves, and I did those as a 48. And this one, for the cuffs, I cut the largest size for the cuffs and then just kept going down until it was a better fit for me, because I didn't want to have to recut. It doesn't matter. It costs nothing really just to cut the bigger size and then keep going down. I'd also read on tea and crumpets. There's three things in the tea tea and crumpets, but there's another word. She had done a really lovely one in colour blocking, and she'd said that the cuff could come out too tight, so just to be aware of that. But then she'd got it so that she'd got it just right, so I was aware of it, so that's why I started slack and left it. I need to check. Sorry about that. It's just been a very strange kind of couple of weeks. I did mention that we lost our cat. Relatively prepared that it was going to be any time, but we've been like that for the last couple of years, which is why we moved our bedroom downstairs, because she couldn't really manage to get up here and she would just be wandering about the hall shouting and requesting assistance, needing a reminder of where she should go. Anyway, we decided, because of her state of mind, that we would move. It worked out well that we moved all our furniture into what was the dining room. We gave up the dining room, but it had already become my sewing room mostly, and so then I've now got this amazing space, which was our bedroom, and I'm so pleased and so grateful. But we'd made some tweaks on it because it wasn't quite as I needed it for functioning the way we had it. So we did have a sofa bed here, and we've now got that on its side in the corner. But when we moved that aspect of it, we didn't put everything else where it was meant to be. And so over time, the last few months, it's just kind of gathered momentum of disorganisation. So that came to a head last week. If you saw my last week's very late Friday Sews video, but if you saw that, then I had a little bit of earnest commitment to get it right. So we've made some steps to get it much nearer to right. But with this new arrangement, in any case, it means I video in a slightly different place and I don't have the table in front of me. And everything I had was all well set up, and now I'm a bit ad hoc again because things are not quite where they were. So I do hope that makes sense, and I do hope it's not causing you too much. I'm still feeling again that I need to be a bit more over here. I shouldn't have wheels on my chair because I'll be all over the place. And I did watch someone the other day and they were talking about sewing tools, and she kept doing this and this, and I thought, oh no, don't do that, I will have my vertigo going. So just going back to the free pattern for the Florence skirt, I saw this advertised on, she's called Teresa, Lost My Thread possibly, and she made a pocket skirt, but she did share different skirt patterns that were free, and the Florence skirt was one of them from Size Me Patterns. And the woman who designs the pattern had done a very gentle sew along for how to put the skirt together. I only got through the fact that you were putting a normal zip in, which I'm fine with a normal zip, and I did have some fabric ready to make that skirt with that would have gone with these two. I'm not saying they were meant to be an outfit, but they would have gone really quite nicely with. So I had thought I would finish the skirt in time. Then I actually wanted to concentrate a bit more on this yellow top. Not because I particularly want it to wear for myself, but I was going to let my niece have it just as a throw on for her holidays if she wants it. And also I didn't want to leave a trail of unfinished objects behind me because I want to get moving on to doing other things now. And one of the other things really is that I managed to buy a while ago, I don't know, at least a year ago I would say, a full king size flat sheet. It's poly cotton, but it's good quality. It's a Catherine Lansfield, so it's 50% polyester and 50% combed cotton. It feels quite nice, but really it's for toiling. But they could be semi-permanent toiles or toiles that I don't need to have as best. And I'd like to do that. I'd like to try the Marnie in that before I use. It was £9 for a full flat sheet, which is more than 2 metres square. And I'll have plenty of fabric in it to have a go at the Marnie. And possibly I quite like this Orla top, but I don't use woven very often at all, and so I need to have something that's not got any give to try it out with before I use it on the nicer things that I've got. And the kind of weird thing, I did pick something up for this and I've blinking well left it. I'll get it. This red colour is not my best red colour, but I'm fine with it. I'm just moving things about because I've got a cup of water on there which I'd rather not throw about. This, I quite like this. It was put in a hamper for me by my daughter-in-law when she made me the hamper when we was like at the end of 2020, the sewing hamper. And I really have fancied doing it, but I'm a little bit sideways about Tilly's patterns. There's nothing wrong with them, but they're not necessarily drafted for me, I don't feel. My size, my length of torso, and that's why I like to be able to use a Sinclair pattern, because I know I've got a better result with those. I've got a Freya cutout, and I've got a Freya, anyway, it doesn't matter, but I know it will do this. And it means that it will do this. And what it needs is for me to take a little bit in on the pattern, add a little bit more to the side in the form of cutting it through to make a dart, but don't actually put the dart in, so it will drop the excess from here to around here. And that's all I have to do to the pattern before I make it again. I'm always doing something else and think, oh well, it'll do this time. Like I did with the billy jumper, I just left it, did it from the pattern, and I've got these kind of things that happen. And so I want to make sure I can fit it to me, but without too much hassle. So I'm better if I make it, then work out where the issue is, rather than just altering the pattern kind of blind. I like to alter the pattern from a toile, if you like, and then I know whether I've got 1/4 of an inch or 1/2 an inch grading to 1/8 or whatever, and where exactly does that come, and those kind of things. Very complicated. So I was tempted, would I keep it just in case we want to have a red sheet, which is not unusual for us, to be honest. But no, I've decided that's what I'm doing. And then I will share the wacky thing that I've thought of. I've not simply just thought of it. I thought of it nearly 2 weeks ago when we took it off the sofa. So before I go into that, the other thing, not necessarily the pussy bow blouse. I'm still not certain about whether that's for me or not. I think if I did a pussy bow blouse, I would have to have the most wacky, most not elderly fabric in the world to do it with, because I will be 70 in August, and I don't want something that reminds me of people who were 70 when I was a teenager or a young mum or whatever it was, because I don't feel like I want to represent anyone who was 70 when I was a teenager. It isn't the actual blouse that I've got a thing with, or how it looks on other people. It's the association I have with it. Let's leave it there. So I want to try possibly to make a shirt, and again, to try and get the fit right on this, I'd still have plenty of fabric in this to have a go with that. So that might be my next kind of, I've got 3 things already cut out. What seems to be on top for me at the moment is cutting things out and getting things ready so that I can zoom in and get going. And I've got other things that I'm doing for other people, not just for me. So I'm fine about that. But I think the order that I need from my mind when I'm cutting out is very different than the order that I need from my mind when I'm sewing. I don't know if you'll get this, but I need to be in different zones for different things. So I'm fine if I batch cut. If I batch cut, I've got the same kind of mindset all day or all week or when I'm going to batch cut. I'm doing batch cutting, but not in one batch. I'm doing steadily accruing batches of unsewn garments, cut up garments, and I'm keep doing that is because we've now got a new shelf that I can put those things just laid out. It's not a marvellous system, but I've just got to lay them out, knowing that I can go to them and they're all cut out, and I can just crack on and sew. And so it would be good if I could make any adjustments to this shirt blouse, which is what I would call it, a shirt blouse, to make sure I've got a good fit in something that's not my best material. I mean, it might be fine and I might be happy with it, because the recent shirt that I've made, I'm so pleased with it. It's in the washer. I would hold it up for you, but the one that I've just finally managed to put buttons on something, and I finished it, I don't know, a few weeks ago. Finally finished in February, I think. And oh no, maybe I didn't make it till March. But I've been working on it for 2 years, and I've been wearing it the last couple of videos I've been in, and I've seen it on the video, and even though I've got 2 red buttons and I've got 6 blue buttons, it goes together fine because it's a pale blue background. But I realise even when I'm not filming, I'm really enjoying wearing that blouse with the shirt blouse with the cuff, and that used to be a look for me, but I have issues with, I've got chubbier arms than I used to, and buying blouses isn't the same. You don't get, that's why I like to make stuff anyway. So anyway, I would really like to have a go at this, and although this is not exactly disposable fabric, it's fabric that I would worry less about and allow myself to make the changes I need to make, I think, using a different fabric. So that's one of the things I want to do. And then the other night came up, after all this kind of like, sorting scraps and trying to rearrange this room and whatever. Alan was in his room doing his Zoom art class, and I started cutting out an Astrid sundress, not to wear as a sundress. So that's the straps, I think they're the straps. And it's just like a yoke, not a yoke, a band across the front and across, and again at the back. And then quite A-line sticky outy fabric with a bit of a gathered thing on that's either got gathers at the front or pleats at the front, quite low down, and funny big pockets, and just to kind of, in this weird and wacky fabric that was sold by IKEA, according to the selvage, which I've not just got now, in 2014, and was gifted to me with this great amount of fabric that got gifted to me from someone. And that's the kind of, I think that's the front bit. So it would be attached to that archy bit across the top of the bust and come down, and as you see, it may not even fit me. So I've nothing lost, have I, if it doesn't work. And the thing I wanted to do with it was, because this red is a match, more or less is a near match for it, if I've got some kind of wacky blouse to put underneath it, I'd be very happy. Even if it's just a kind of utility dress or an outfit. It's not for the sun, because I don't show much body in the sun. I've had malignant melanoma, and I don't ever, the sun isn't seeing my body. So I thought, should I, shouldn't I? Well, why not? It's very thick. It's not exactly canvas, but it's really heavy. As I say, it's just cotton, quite thick fabric. And I spent quite a bit of time matching up. The back is a different shape because the thing comes down lower at the back. I spent quite a bit of time working out, is there a middle, is there a side, what's the pattern really, apart from something that should be drawn together. And if you've got the light on, you should wear dark glasses with it. So I'm going to have fun with that, aren't I? I'll open the door and chase people away that I don't want to be there. So I feel in a much more creative, bonkers mood than I was. I've also moved things so I've no clock, so I'll just keep talking until I'm fed up. So I really appreciate you being here. I know I've gone blah, but I'm trying to be a bit more relating things to actually sewing and showing you things that are, as I've said before, it's not as simple. I don't feel like I fit in the mould of, I do my haul of these are my fabrics I've bought, because I don't generally shop like that. And these are the patterns I've got. I'm trying to work from my stash. I'm trying to work from my patterns that I've already got. I do send for patterns. I've got Sew Over It, the £5 Fridays patterns. I think it's called the Freya blouse. It's their fanciest blouse ever, it says, something like that. And so I want to have a go at that, but not with this. So I am interested in doing blouses, and I was tuned into doing blouses before this Sew April blouse challenge in any case, but actually I'm not taking part in that because I don't know why. I thought I'd seen that they weren't going to judge the prizes this year. When I entered 2 years ago, they judged the prizes. It was Kristen at Dahlia Society and Gabrielle at Cloth Edit. And I had put an entry in, and I really realised that I felt very uncomfortable that my peers really, for me, if we are all YouTube, this is just me, if we're all YouTubers, all kind of blogging for, I don't know, sharing things, I don't feel like I want to be judged by one of my peers. That's it. I wouldn't want to be judging or feel like I knew better in some way, even if I'm not going for the, because I have mentioned this to Rowan, and I think her words were that just to reassure me that it's not about being the best. And I hadn't even thought that. To be quite honest, I very rarely have any idea what the prizes are. I just like to kind of get on this, oh yes, we're doing blouses, or we're doing So Frugal, or I loved the purple for Alzheimer's, and I loved the So Yellow for Endo, because you've got a message and you're sharing that with people and passing on information and experience and gaining information and experience from other people who are doing it, and sharing about what my dad and my mum and my auntie and their Alzheimer's, and knowing that there are women in my family who've had, and friends who've had endometriosis, and I have an intimate issue that I'm not going into now, but it's good to use sewing in that way, isn't it? I find that's a really kind of valuable resource for doing challenges. I just have a thing about where the Rowan's words were something like that, it's just that they will decide who gets the prizes. And I think that's the thing, really. That's the bit I'm not happy with. I'm not going to go at Ruan or Gabrielle. It's about me, that I feel like I'm very happy with the randomised setup, and that no one is a loser because you've not had anyone chosen as more special than you. That's the thing for me. That's the way I live my life, really, because I'm a person-centred counsellor. I'm a leveller, if you like. In fact, I'm one of the true levelers, community samba band. It's about levelling and equalising and things like that. So I was also involved in I put myself forward and was very accepted onto the vlog tour of Adele at Sofa Serenity, Crystal at My Social Thread, and Claire at Stitch Hem Sew, who are doing the challenge on selfless sewing. And I have some things that my next projects, it's birthdays are coming up, so I've got projects that I've got patterns for and fabric for, and I'm already on with those ideas. So I was very happy to do a vlog about that. But then when I saw Adele speaking about it at the beginning of the challenge, she's explaining that the prizes will be randomised, but the main thing was that the team will also choose a special prize. That's all well and good if they want to get together and choose a special prize, not necessarily because it's the best, but it may have seem to have the better thought behind it, or the better this, or the something or other that kind of shows the effort put into it, or the intention or something. For me, it's about someone else deciding that about another person. And if there's so much that people don't like about non-competitive, and I don't like competitive. I find it uncomfortable to know that for the ones who are chosen, it's the ones who are not chosen can feel rejected in some way. Now that might be a very, very big statement, but in my small world, my small professional world that I come from, I know that makes a big deal for people. And a lot of us sewing or doing art or any creativity may have been told in the past that they're no good at it, that they're not good enough at it, that they're not as good as their peers, or they've not won this or they've not won that. And that's why I don't like Watch Sewing Bee. Sewing Bee is fine, the Great British Sewing Bee, but I don't like the judging of it. I think that's nobody's business at all, because quite clearly we know that it isn't the ones who are the more talented, the more naturally gifted. There's a process that's gone through. Because even as you know that some of your YouTube peers have put in for it and have been rejected, and their sewing would be massively wonderful compared to some who they know are going to be fodder for letting out in the first couple of weeks. So I don't like any kind of competitive thing, so I've withdrawn from that vlog tour. But with all the love in the world, I think they're doing an amazing job to get people aware that it's great to sew for other people, and it is. It's wonderful to be able to do things for other people in all sorts of walks of life, but to make something that you put a lot of time and energy and love into, and that's awesome. But for me, it would just be fine as a randomised challenge. So if that's what it was, I would have took part. So, and I know lots of people that are toiling away now doing things that they wouldn't have thought of doing away from the normal schedule of doing things for themselves or catching up with whatever they're doing. So it's the different spirit of it for me. That's what it is. Okay, so anyway. So life, I think that comes into it really, life. That's where my life might differ from your thoughts and someone else's thoughts and someone else's thoughts. And the thing I love about this sewing business is I can make more personalised garments that make me feel more like myself. So it's Susan at Seaside Stitches, and thank you very much for watching my channel. If you want to give a thumbs up, it's great. It just adds to the popularity of my video, and then it gets shared more. If you leave a comment, that also has an effect, and I love to have comments. It's so good to be able to know that other people are out there and what their thoughts are, and just if they've enjoyed the video or they would like different content or something, or just share what you're making. That would be lovely. To subscribe, it costs you nothing, and that also, the number of subscribers helps get people up the list so that my videos will get seen more in different feeds. That's all. So I don't make any money. I'm not. My channel is not monetized. I don't take an affiliate fee from anyone. I buy nothing from Amazon. I try to be as sustainable as possible, but I'm not perfect by any means. And I do my very best to buy local. If I can't buy in person, I'll buy online. If I can buy online, and it's in a smaller distance, more localised to me, the better. But I'm not saying I haven't bought things from Birmingham or from Devon or from Scotland or from Ireland, where Beyond the Pink Door is. And you see, I can see across the Irish Sea. Now I can't see her house, and it still needs either an aeroplane or a boat to put the package in to get to me. So it's not really local, is it? Just because she's the other side of the Irish Sea, across the water there. But anyway, I'll try to do what I can. I hope you do too, and thank you. Bye for now.